Black History
Anthony
Month needs to give
moment.
me a month off. Yeah, Black History Month needs to get you a month off rent. They're not doing that. Trust me, bro. They're not. They don't like us that much, man. At least you get to celebrate the whole month. Only get half.
Oh my god. You're so stupid.
Well, that's what everybody tells me. They're like, "Well, you got to stop celebrating at the 15th." I'm like, "All right, all right, fine."
If you're ready for battle, you better get on the saddle. We got some demons to tackle, yeah. We about to put on a show. These haters don't even know.
Top 3 favorite anime characters of all time.
The rocket tweets from Pokemon. Yeah, you would have to use your mouth.
I don't know what's going on with Big Radiohead today.
Cody asks, I watched last week's episode, but I couldn't stop focusing on that nasty red spot above Anthony's eye.
Damn.
When you come to the ring, which song do we got?
Think of the song. Oh, a song. A song.
Oh my god! All right, you're not doing that to the ring.
Are there any games out there that represent your life, like something you can relate to? It's the most depressing game, Elden Ring. I could probably relate. I could probably relate to Caelid. Yeah, Caelid in Elden Ring, that whole area. I relate to all of that.
Anthony has anxiety.
That whole thing is great. Thank you for that. Welcome everybody to the world's greatest Junk Mail Tuesday podcast. Even if it's the only Junk Mail Tuesday podcast, it's still the best. I am Anthony Streams. I am here with my co-host. I can't call her Pinky Kardashian. She got mad
Oh my
last time, so
god.
I gotta come up with some good nicknames. You shot down all the ones I came up with,
Because they
so I gotta come
suck.
up with some new. I like the Venezuelan goddess.
Why? I hate that.
Okay, well, pink Radiohead for now until I figure out something else.
Fucking
How are
hate
you
it.
feeling?
Well, right now I'm hating you a little bit, Pinky Kardashian, Venezuelan goddess. Like, what the fuck is that?
Pinky Kardashian was kind of catchy.
No, it's not. It sucks.
You also didn't like my Pokemon idea I gave you.
No. Because
Yeah.
I don't even play Pokemon like that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I got to go back to the drawing board here, come up with some new stuff. How was your weekend?
My weekend. Fine. My weekend was fine.
It was good. Yeah, I was about to say if you can't think of nothing bad, I guess it was good. It was pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, it was good.
Do some streaming.
I did do some streaming. I've been doing streaming, so yeah. Sorry, I was trying to turn off my ads on my channel for the podcast. Not that they're gonna appear on the podcast, but I was trying to do that so like it doesn't really interrupt it.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. Nice. I didn't get to see if you were streaming this weekend, I guess is why I asked. I actually went out of town. I went to go hang out with my brother and it's funny, like my brother is not a big he's I guess in a way he is big on games. He just does a lot of Call of Duty, which once we had this talk, that doesn't mean you're not a gamer. But he's not. Even in that time, he's not a sit down and like play for hours and hours on end like I can get. He's a little more healthy with going out and doing other things. But I thought it was funny. I was like, man, here we are, 30 years old. He's a little younger than 30, and it's just like I'm still packing up my video game consoles to go to his house, and we just sit down and play games.
It's the
But we
best
also went
way.
out. Yeah. I showed him Lies of P. Like he's not into those type of games as far as playing them, but he watched me kind of mess around and grind on Lies of P. We went out to eat. Got some crawfish. Had a few drinks. It was a pretty good time. It was nice, like just to get out every once in a while. Even though lately I've been doing that every weekend, but just to
Hey,
get out the house. Yeah,
hey, that's great. I
yeah.
don't get out of my house, and I need to, but soon, soon.
Yes, soon we will
um,
get out of the house.
Sorry, Meadow. I don't know if you're asking me or Anthony, but Ocarina of Time is going great. It is definitely not the first time that I'm playing that game. I played that game many times. But it was definitely first time for Anthony, I believe. And I think that's why he sucks at it. But yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, for those who don't know, we're playing Ocarina of Time on Wednesdays on Twitch. on me and Pink's channel. You stream it too, don't you? When you
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
both. Yeah, on me and Pink's channel. You should probably watch it on hers because she's actually playing it and she's actually really good at it. We just kind of watch because I suck at the game. Um, we be playing Majora's Mask next.
Oh yeah, for
You are
sure.
you gonna do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
we could do
course.
Majora's Mask.
I can
Well,
do
we got
all the
Chia.
Zelda
We got
games.
Chia too. Yeah, yeah, we got Chia, and then we could jump to Majora's Mask because I've got to get some Chia in here. Chia's amazing. Uh, but yeah, all right. Well, it sounds like we had a pretty good weekend. We could jump to these questions. We don't have we don't have as many as usual, which works out bad for YouTubers because you might get a shorter episode. Who knows? It's us. We'll probably find a way for this to still be an hour. But good for the Twitch streamers because we are going to attempt to play Dead Island 2 after the podcast. I
Mhm.
don't know how this is going to work because I think there's multiplayer. I don't know if you both have to complete something first in order to do the multiplayer. I don't know how this works. And like the unprofessional I am, I didn't look into it. So we'll just figure out how this goes. I think
We just
also
didn't test
you
it.
don't.
We didn't test it.
Yeah,
It's
we
on
didn't
Game
test it.
Pass, but it's only available on console and on the cloud gaming. So I'm gonna be playing on cloud, and Anthony probably gonna be playing on console. So I'm not sure if it's gonna work out. So let's see.
We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Okay. All right. Let's jump to our questions here. And then we can jump into Dead Island 2. All right off the bat. Number one, we're gonna start down from the bottom. This one's from Jake. Do you have anything weird that you used to collect or collect today?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's weird, but I collect like crystals and rocks.
Mm.
Back in the day, it's not that I wish I would have collected them when I was a kid. Because back in Venezuela, actually, like I could have found quartz everywhere. But I did have a couple of crystals when I was a kid because my family, I guess my grandpa liked crystals as well because I remember this big quartz that he had in his room. I used to have like the little bracelets with like the rose quartz and like the black obsidian and stuff like that. Um, I don't consider it weird. I feel like a lot of people do that. Um,
Mhm.
what else do I collect? Oh, at some point, because the thing is like I'm like not consistent. At some point, when I got into kombucha, I started collecting the bottles of kombucha after I had them, and it got out of control because I was like, oh, I'm gonna make like an apothecary type of table or closet, and
Yeah.
then I was collecting a bunch of bottles, and then I was gonna start decorating them, and I was like, no, this is getting out of control, especially when I had to move, and I was like, nah, and I got rid of a lot of
Yeah.
them. Mm, but yeah, I don't know. I go through stages of collecting stuff, but I think also because like the way that we were raised, like even if I wanted to collect, my parents weren't too big on to kind of like hoarding things or buying us anything we wanted, and it wasn't like we had an allowance or anything like that, so that I could go and buy whatever I wanted. It was basically they controlled everything. Like I don't know, it's I feel like it's a very Latin family type of thing. Like it's just like no, you're not getting all of that. You don't need that. And it's not a bad
Yeah.
thing. I just got used to not having those things, even though I wanted them. So I feel like I collect more things now as an adult with my own money than I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, same. Like as a kid, we used to I don't know, you wouldn't count toys as collecting, right? Like if you're
You
playing like
could,
we used to get
yeah,
wrestling toys.
yeah, that is a
Yeah,
good
okay.
collection. Yeah.
Yeah, when we was kids, we used to collect a whole bunch of wrestling toys and do like the wrestling matches and stuff like that. I say as a kid, but literally as an adult, I started collecting them again. I just don't take them out the pack. But behind me on the floor, there's a whole bunch that y'all can't see, but there's a whole bunch of wrestling figures I pick up from Walmart. I also was doing pops for a while. I haven't bought anything figure wise in probably a year and a half now. But for a while, I was just like spending so much money on pop figures and wrestling action figures and stuff. What one of my good friends Drake, he actually goes back and buys some of the figures from back in the 90s that he grew up with. And I thought that was pretty cool. But he started spending some money on some of those. I started looking
Mm.
at some of the ones I used to have, and I was like, oh man, $90 for this rock figure. I don't know. Uh, but I've been actually wanting to get back into doing some of that. Like I had a Claire Redfield, a Tyrant, and a Jill Valentine, Resident Evil action figure that I got when I was a child. My mom used to give me some really cool toys, and like I just wish I would have kept them. But outside of like figures, like today I collect, like I said, the pop figures and stuff back there. I also was collecting Pokemon cards. I haven't bought any of those for a while too. But when the pandemic hit, I just
Mm.
got really into doing the Pokemon cards. So I have like a huge binder for when I was just spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on them, and then I just stop. That's usually what happens. I get really into something like that I'm
Yeah.
collecting, and then I just just goes.
Actually,
I
that
literally
reminds
right
me.
here.
That reminds me. I don't know why I did that to my nose.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That reminds me. What are they called? Oh my god, I always forget the name in English. Is it called tassels? No, like they're like round, and they had like figurines. They had like not figurines, but like they had like a maybe like a character in them, and you could collect them, and you could play other kits for them to when you were missing one. I
It's
collected
like a
those. I forgot the name of those. In Spanish they were called tassels, but I don't know what they're called in English. I forget the name all the time, and I know other people have told me the names multiple times.
I know it's like a token of some kind, like a token coinish type thing. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
they're like plastic, so I had those. Like they came like in bags of Cheetos and stuff like that. And then I was collecting the Looney Tunes on those. And actually, my sister and I got to a pretty hefty collection at some point.
Mhm.
And we actually like kept trying to get the ones that we were missing. I don't remember besides the Looney Tunes what else came out for that, but like basically it was we used to take kung fu classes when we were kids. I didn't last very long. And then what's it called? Out when we were waiting outside, we would buy like Cheetos or something like that just to have those things. I forgot what they're called.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god!
I
And
can't
they
I know what
exist
you're talking
here.
about though.
Um, tassels. Those ones were ones, and then for some reason, um, at some point, but this was like more like the kids in school. They got you like there was this trend of collecting like cute paper, like just collecting like this. They opened a Sanrio store in the city, so everyone was buying like things from Sanrio and like buying like I don't know Hello Kitty stuff and Pochaco and stuff like that. And then everyone was like collecting like cute little papers or I don't know like just the
Mhm.
papers. And literally we
Yeah,
called it
yeah.
papelito like like it
Mhm.
made no
Yeah.
sense. So at some point I was trying to collect them, but more because like the other girls were telling me that I needed to collect that too. And if not, I was out. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was just like trying to.
You're out, yeah.
I'm like trying
Yeah.
to have the same collection, but not honestly not keeping up with it at all.
Kids are ruthless. You need a collector, you're out.
Yeah,
Um
yeah.
we
That's usually how it went with me. I was like literally just lost.
Thanks. We used to do seashells too as a kid. Like whenever we'd go to Galveston Beach, we would just go and collect just a whole bunch of seashells just so we can like put them up to our ear. And uh, oh, you know what? It wasn't really us. My dad collected a bunch of baseball, basketball, and football cards, and I don't know where they are today. And I wonder how much they're worth today. But he actually had like a tin, like this tin little can, and it has gold Michael Jordan cards in them. I don't know what they're worth, or like we never opened it. It's always still like in the little pack thing, and they're Michael Jordan golden like tin cards inside like this tin can. And I wonder if my mom's like sitting on $1 million right now, and like I kind of need that from her. You know what that is? I don't know if it's real gold. Like I don't know anything about it. I just
Yeah.
know it's like golden plated Michael Jordan cards, and they've never been opened. I'm just like I
Oh
kind of
wow.
want that now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I
there
kind of
could
want
be
that.
there could be valuable. There it could they could be valuable. I don't know why I forgot how to speak well. That usually happens to me, but uh, there was another thing. You remind me that my dad actually had a huge collection of um what's it called money, like money from different countries. Like
That's cool.
he kept them like on folders where like they were all organized, and then he had the coins. That was actually, I feel like that was actually pretty valuable. I don't know what happened to those collections. I don't know if they got stolen. They probably did, but maybe my aunt managed to save a couple of them, who knows. What else do at some point he told me that he used to collect articles. So he told me you should do the same, right? So I would always go to the science section on the newspaper, and instead of like I would read the article, but then instead of like cutting the whole article, I would usually just take the pictures. So I would just take the pictures
Yeah.
and then had a folders of pictures and pictures of science articles, but no the article included. I was like, I'm doing great, right? And my dad is like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it. As long as you're having fun, right? Fuck it.
Yeah, he was like, I think he felt bad to tell me what was going wrong.
Of course, how can yeah, I mean, you're having such a good time. Like it's hard to shut that down. All right, speaking of shutting things down, we're gonna shut that question down and jump to PSTB, which this is an interesting question. My supervisor brought donuts for us this morning, and though I was very appreciative of it, I couldn't help but wonder why we eat cake for breakfast. What even is breakfast at this point? And what other foods are weird breakfast foods to you? So this is kind of weird to me because I kind of feel like, all right, if I moved, like, let's say I packed up and moved right now, and I moved to Florida, and I was your new next door neighbor, and I knocked on your door on Saturday morning, and I said, Pink, I'm gonna go get some donuts. Do you want some donuts? Like, you may say no, because I don't know Pink like that. I don't know if Pink's like a donut person or not. She may say yes, or she may say no. That's I don't want no donuts. But either way, I don't think you would look at it weird that I'm going to go get donuts. But if I knocked on your door and said, Pink, I'm baking a fucking cake. Would you like a slice for breakfast? I feel like that would be weird. But they're both like just sugar and flour and like it's really no fucking different. Like, why are donuts okay? I'm with Peace TB on this. It's fucking weird.
I think honestly, like whenever I don't find it weird. I think it's very normal, and I think this comes from me, like having lived in other places. Because like when I lived in Spain, I think that a lot of people tended to just have very small breakfast, and sometimes like some people would have something sweet, and some people would have just like a croissant, or like they would have like a maybe like some toast with tomato on it. That's called usually tumaca, but like it was very small, and for me I always had like breakfast, like especially if I'm off, if I wasn't going to school. But when I was going to school, my mom would make me like a sandwich, for example. And I know people in here like usually sandwiches are more like lunch, but like usually that's breakfast for me, like or a sandwich or arepa, which usually it's like basically a corn sandwich. you know
Yeah.
so I don't know. I don't find anything weird. However, I prefer to have a savory breakfast, and then maybe if it's gonna be like a big breakfast, I will definitely have cake because I can always have cake. To be honest, cake. I love cake, so I don't find it weird. But I don't like cakes. Like having just a donut for breakfast just makes me feel weird. Like I'm gonna crash
Yeah.
at any point.
I don't think it's weird to have cake or a donut for breakfast. I just think it's weird that one's acceptable in society and one's not. Like most people would look at cake like, no, that's not breakfast. What are you doing? Like my mom would be pissed if she woke up and see me having a slice of cake for breakfast as a child.
Yeah,
But she would pick up donuts. And it's just like, why? I don't
makes
understand.
no
That's the
sense.
weird part to
It
me.
makes no
Yeah, why
sense.
is
Yeah,
one okay and one not? They're both just sugar and dough. Like there's no
yeah,
difference.
that's true.
What is breakfast? I think we could define that. That's basically like you need something on the run, right? That's how it was always explained to me. It's like break fast, like you're like in a rush and you're grabbing something and leaving. Like that's breakfast. Is that what that is to you, or
I think that's an unhealthy way to look at breakfast, to be
probably
honest.
so?
Because and that's why the reason why people eat like such unbalanced meals for breakfast. Like some people will have, well, I'm just gonna have like a Coke for 200 calories, and there you go. I broke fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Because breakfast, like the literal word means like you were fasting and now you're not. You're just eating something. But like breakfast, like usually like a good one, like you should have like I don't know, like a good balanced breakfast, like because you're gonna need that energy, especially if you're on the road. I don't know. That's what I feel. But for me, it's like having an actual coffee with something. And of
Mhm.
course, for me, coffee is included. Other people will think that's
Okay.
not healthy. That's fine.
Oh, coffee is almost. Oh, I was about to get on here and say a bold faced lie and say it's the only time I ever have coffee, but like I do this every night too. I have it at morning and night. All right. Okay, well, to just finish this question off, I'm gonna help PCB out here. I'm gonna say a few things and you tell me if you think it'd be weird for breakfast.
Okay.
Steak and fries. Somebody woke up at 8 in the morning and you seen them eating steak and fries for breakfast.
I don't think it's weird. I think people can eat whatever they want because everywhere people eat different things for breakfast.
Well, okay, well, just like Americans,
I
not
would
not
think-
everybody else, just Americans.
I would think it's unusual. Yes.
Okay, okay, we'll use the word unusual. I don't want it to like. No, I don't think anybody thinks pink's making anybody feel weird. I just mean something unusual. Pizza.
Normal for me. Especially if it's
Leftover pizza, yeah,
leftover
yeah,
pizza,
yeah, leftover pizza. Okay. Let me see if I can come up with another one. You're okay with cake.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's kind of
Soup.
it then.
Soup.
Yeah, soup. How you feel about soup?
Unusual for us, but I know other people have soup for breakfast. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure like it's super healthy, but like I probably wouldn't want to have soup for breakfast.
Right. And we're not talking about any other countries. I just mean like if you woke up and your next door neighbor was having soup for breakfast, you would think it's unusual.
I would think that's a
That's
very
all.
unusual individual. Very healthy.
All right. That'll do it then. For the most part, it seems like you're pretty cool with everything. I don't really know what breakfast is anymore. Like for me, like a donut is a special occasion. Like on a Saturday, I'll get up in the morning and I'll drive to Shipley's and I'll get one donut with chocolate filled inside of it. And I just take that one donut home and I
That's
have it.
a trip to diarrhea town, to be honest.
No, my stomach's fucked. Especially when you add the coffee to it, it's fucked. It's all right. But that's my treat because I go get my hair cut Saturday mornings and I'm like, well, while I'm out, let me go grab a donut and then I have a donut. Outside of that, like Monday through Friday, I don't have breakfast anyways. I don't eat till 2 p.m. And yeah, so there we go. But if I were to have breakfast, like some days I cook my own breakfast on Saturdays, or Sunday I'll cook my own. And it's usually like turkey, bacon, and eggs. I don't do anything too crazy. All right, let's jump to Monte, who says, out of all the consoles, which ones have you played or owned? I wanted to see what are the chances that I could pull up a list and just read them off and say whether you played it or owned one.
Mm.
Okay, I'm gonna skip a lot of these, and we're just gonna do the ones that are like kind of popular. I didn't realize all this was a thing.
It is.
Did you ever own or play the Game Boy?
I played it, didn't own one though.
Okay, play, didn't own. What about a Dreamcast?
No.
No Dreamcast. I never had a Game Boy. I have played one. A Dreamcast, I never played. I mean, I never owned, but I have played. A friend had one. I thought I was going to get on here and there wasn't going to be this much. There's a whole lot of shit in here that I've never heard of. Super Nintendo, the SNES. Wait, no, not Super Nintendo. The NES. I'm sorry. NES. Have you played the NES?
That's Super Nintendo.
Or
I
owned
believe.
it. Not the one before, just a regular Nintendo before Super.
I think I've played them both.
Okay. I owned Super Nintendo, didn't own the Nintendo, I only played it. Nintendo 64.
Of course. Still have my original one, yeah.
Oh, I'm hating. I had to go buy it. I had to go buy it. I own the 64 and I own a Super Nintendo right now.
Nice.
Have you ever done the Atari Jaguar?
Let me look at it.
I've never played it or owned it, but I hear people talk about it often.
Let me look at the picture of it. Oh,
Yeah, I've actually never seen a picture of
I've
it.
played this, yeah. I've played this.
Have you? Let me see if I've. Okay, let me look it up.
I don't even remember when or where, but I remember playing this.
Oh no, see, I've never seen this or played it before. That is crazy. I wonder what the chances are you can find one of those like to actually purchase.
You can, but it's difficult for sure.
PlayStation
I played it.
played it. I played it and owned it. Um Sega Saturn. I know that's one people have.
Sega
I've never played it
Genesis
or owned
was
it.
the one that I owned and played.
Yeah, I had one of those too. We said Nintendo, Game Boy Advance.
Played it, didn't own one,
I didn't
unfortunately.
play it or own it. Yeah.
There, like, I still have like a little bit of like pain that I always wanted a Game Boy and I always wanted a Tamagotchi, and I never got any of those.
Dang. I didn't own. Well, we'll get there in a second. GameCube. I never played. I never
I,
owned it. Well, I own it
owned,
now.
owned it and played it. Yeah.
Okay, I own it and play it now. I bought it during the pandemic, but I didn't have it as a kid. PlayStation 2.
My brother had one, so I played it.
Oh, nice. Okay, I owned it and played it. Um, Xbox, the original.
I didn't have the original Xbox. No.
I owned it and played it, and it's one of my favorite things ever in a console was that you could download music to it,
Mm.
and then some games would allow you to put that soundtrack in the game. So we'd be playing race car games, but we would be
Oh,
listening to the
nice.
music that's downloaded on the Xbox. That was the fucking greatest. Uh, can't do that today. I think the labels kind of shut that down.
I actually, I did play it. I think it was one of my friends that actually, like, I had like my group, not a group of friends, but I had like all these known people that I knew were gamers. So I knew which ones
Mhm.
had the consoles. So I remember the friends that had the Xbox, the original Xbox. And I remember they even experienced like the famous red dot,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was one of the like the first round of Xboxes. Yeah, they definitely tried
Yeah,
invest in it.
I I never recovered from that. When the 360 came out and we got 2 of them. We got the first one, we got that Red Ring of Death. We got a second one and got it again. And I said, "Yeah, I'm done.
The
Like
red ring,
I'll
the
never
red
do
ring.
this."
I don't know. I forgot
Yeah,
the
the
name.
Red
Red
Ring.
dot. Yeah.
Yeah, the Red Ring of Death. Nintendo DS.
What? Yes.
I never played it or owned it. DS?
Mm-mm. No.
No. Okay. PlayStation 3.
Played it. Didn't own one. My brother.
Yeah, I played it.
Oh, my brother did. Yeah, my brother did have one.
Same exact story. My brother owned it, and I played very little of it. I wasn't that into video games around this era. Um, let's see. Did you do any of the PlayStation Portable stuff? I was kind of skipping all those, but like they had the PlayStation Portables. I don't know if you got into any of that.
No, no
Um,
PlayStation in my life. My brother was the one who had the PlayStation, and I played some of the stuff on PlayStation, and then I did play stuff on the PlayStation 4. Like a friend literally lent me a game so I could play it on the
mhm.
PS4, and then later on had a PS5 for a while, but I don't have that anymore. So
Got you. Um, Nintendo Wii.
the Wii, I do own one actually. I need to bring it back home with me. I just need to reorganize my stuff. Everything is all over the place.
I never owned or played a Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
Xbox 360. I think we both said.
I had one,
You said
yeah.
you own. Yeah, you had one. Yeah, we
Yeah.
both had. I had 2 of them.
You want to know what happened to that one? It makes me
What's
really
that?
angry till this day what happened to my Xbox 360. So
Uh-oh, let's do it.
I had my Xbox 360 when I was in Spain. Like I ended up like like putting some money because I was over having to mod my Mac so I could play anything. I remember the only things I could play on my Mac were Sims 3, Sims 2, and I think I got to play Borderlands if I'm not mistaken. Um then I ended up being like, I need games in my life because I always like video games, but like during college I didn't even get to play that much. So I actually ended up buying an Xbox 360 after years he had came out with the Kinect and stuff. And then I started buying games for it or whatever. But then when I graduated and then I was gonna move here to the States, so the thing about like the consoles there is usually the power conversion tends to not work here in the US. Like it's different power, whatever power sources or whatever. So anyway, the thing is that for a while I had to keep my stuff in storage, but it wasn't kept in storage. Like actually, my ex had a storage in his house, and then he kept the stuff for me. And then obviously I managed to ship most of my stuff, but then he then convinced me that I wasn't gonna use that, so he sold all my games to buy himself FIFA 14, if I'm not mistaken. And then with the games that I had bought with my money, and then later on, when I had already moved here or whatever, he tells me that he sold my Xbox. And I'm like,
Damn.
it's my fucking Xbox. Why did you sell my Xbox? So I actually asked for the money back and all that stuff. So yeah, that actually always pisses me off until this day. I was like, that little bitch. But yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know.
That is wild.
Yeah, and also like, what a loser, selling all my games for FIFA.
Yeah, and FIFA of all games.
Yeah.
All right. The for whatever reason the list here ends in 2010. So I guess off memory, PS4 and what was the Xbox? Was it one? Xbox One and PS4?
I had Xbox 360. Or what? Oh wait, are you talking about after? Yeah, it was Xbox One.
Yeah.
It was Xbox One and PS4, and then Xbox Series X and S, and then PS5.
Okay, out of any of those, are you up to date on any of those?
I have the Series X.
Or okay, I own the PS4. I never played or owned the Xbox One, and I own the PS5 and the Xbox X, and we both own Switch. I almost forgot about Switch.
Yeah, I have the Switch. You also didn't talk about the Wii U. I didn't have a Wii U.
Oh, did we? Okay, the Wii U. I never had a Wii U. 3DS or 2DS? Did you have either one of those?
I didn't have any of those, and all of a sudden I have two in my house that are not mine, but
they're here.
They're
I mean,
here
maybe
now.
they're yours. They're yours. All right. So for me, like with Nintendo, once PlayStation came out, I never played another Nintendo console as a child. When I got older, I got the 3DS because I wanted to play Pokemon, and I had it for like a month. And I moved to this really bad neighborhood in Beaumont, Texas, and a bunch of kids broke into my house and stole all my Kobe shoes. My Kobe Bryants were stolen. A whole box of DVDs. They took my 3DS and they took my Pokemon game. So I had a 3DS for like a month, but I played a shit ton of that Pokemon game on it.
Oh.
I had it for like a month. But yeah, that's like outside of that, I didn't play the GameCube or any of that. I was only playing PlayStation and Xbox, and now I own a GameCube, and
I
yeah, the
used
3DS
to
got
love the
taken.
GameCube. It was kind of like, I don't know, because obviously I loved the Nintendo 64 because like I was growing up and everything was so cool. But then when the GameCube came out, and it had like that intro and it looked like so much better
Yeah.
than before. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
wow, amazing! Look
Yeah.
at the graphics, it's just, and then the little discs.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah. And the good thing about the Wii is that you can still play the games from the GameCube on it. So
In the chat, Panda said he had a Game Boy, a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Pocket, a Game Boy Advance, an SP, a DS, a DSi, 2DS, and 3DS, NES, SNES, 64, GameCube, Wii, Wii U, Switch, PS1 through 4, PSP, Xbox, and Xbox 360. Damn. Yeah, you got me beat on all them Nintendos. I missed a lot of those. And then Ocean Ave says consoles and handhelds came a long way. They really have.
yeah, absolutely.
Long way. All right. That was a great question by somebody. I don't remember who that was from. Who asked that? Oh, Monte. Good question, Monte. Let me exit out of this. All right. I did not realize there was that many consoles. Like there was like pages and pages full
There's
of
many consoles. Okay.
consoles on there. Yeah. Yeah. Flint says, where do you see your best friend in 5 years?
Having another child.
Mm.
Uh,
My best friend is he's such a fucking warrior. He got I could tell the story. Don't nobody know who he is. He got laid off in December, and he is currently he just got a job now. He starts later into March, and but I mean, he worked a really good job, and they gave like the whole package deal when he got cut. So I mean, he's doing fine, but
Mm.
uh, he's been getting into um, I guess he's like a sneakerhead, so he's getting into like that sneaker culture and like the fresh fits and arts. He's getting very artistic, so he's getting into all that. And in 5 years, I can see him really trying to put like I guess get like a presence going. Like I keep trying to get him to get on social media and TikTok and stuff like that. I was like, you own so many cool things. Like he spends a lot of money on just cool art pieces and things like that. And like I said, a big shoe junkie. I'm not like a big shoe junkie or nothing like that, but like I can look at it and tell like, oh man, like there's a lot of people who are into this stuff. You should,
Yeah.
do TikToks. And he wants to, he just won't ever start. He just has all these ideas and he just won't do it. But in 5 years, I can see him really um, putting that together and doing what it is he wants to do. 'Cause he's got a like the job he just got. It's another really high paying job, but I don't think that's his calling. I don't think that's what he wants. Like
I don't
think he
think.
sees something bigger for
Okay,
himself.
to be honest, none of these high-paying jobs are like the calling for anyone.
Yeah,
We just take them because that's what
yeah,
help us
true,
get to the other
true,
things that we want to get to.
yeah,
I actually
true,
saw a
true.
video like that was very interesting about that. Is like some dude that's in senior leadership somewhere, and he was talking about kind of like the kind of like talking to the people that have been talking about layoffs and all that stuff, and he was just like talking about the corporate bullshit, like like there's no corporate loyalty. You know how they will get rid of you. Like your friend just got laid off, I got laid off, so many other people got laid off. So honestly, like we just take these jobs to continue. One, you continue to grow, you continue to learn. So either you want to go up the corporate ladder, or you want to create your own business at some point, or you just want to have this job so you can live the life that you want to live. And I think
Mhm.
and basically that's what this guy was saying. Like there's three routes really, and that's the whole thing. So. For my friend, though, I know she wants to have another kid, and that like eventually, like they already have one, and he's growing up, and hopefully they have already come and visit me because I want to see them. I haven't seen them in a long
Yeah, yeah,
time, and they'll have another one, and I'll see them too. And
yeah,
I'm sure like she will continue to grow in her career and like just be happy. They're both gonna they're the four of them are gonna be happy. I'm saying four already because they're gonna have another one eventually. So
yeah, for sure, for
yeah.
sure. That's awesome. Hell yeah! Shout out to our best friends. If I had a drink, I would cheers to it. And then Flint's also asked when and what was the last time something you watched made you cry?
Today.
Yeah, I
No,
was about to
no,
say I cry all
not
the fucking
today.
time.
Not today, but I don't know. I cry like sometimes I find myself saying like, "Why are you crying?" Like, I don't know. It's a good moment, I cry. It's a bad moment, I cry. It's a sad moment, I cry. It's a happy moment, I cry. Like in whatever I watch. Sometimes some things just
Mhm.
I just cry all the time. So
I cried watching this was last year around Christmas time, I believe. I was watching a World War II documentary and they got to talking about the concentration camps and all that stuff, and that was a lot. That was a lot to watch, and definitely end up crying during that. Yeah, that was tough to sit through. And then recently, I don't remember when Kobe Bryant died. Well, no, no, this was yeah, yeah. In a way, this is recent. Whenever Kobe Bryant died, I remember I was taking my nieces to a wrestling show, their first live wrestling show. It was the Royal Rumble in Houston, and I remember at their house, we were sitting there getting ready for the Rumble to start, and I was like, "We still got a few hours," so we ordered pizza and we are kind of hanging around talking. And I remember somebody in the house just gasping and just being like, "Hey, Kobe Bryant's dead!" And everybody knew that was my favorite basketball player at the time, so like it shook me. But I was like, "We're here in front of the nieces and sisters. Like, I'm not gonna cry here." but I'm definitely gonna cry. We got to the wrestling show, and I did my best to like kind of keep it off my mind, and we watched the show and everything. But I had a long drive back because from Houston it's like 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I got back to the house, and the first thing I did was sit on my couch and pull up the night he scored 81 points, and I just sat on my couch crying. But we went to Walmart this weekend. I went to go see my brother, and we went to Walmart to pick up some things. And in the magazine section, there was a big magazine with him on it and just a whole bunch and I wanted it so bad, but I picked it up and I looked at it. I started looking inside and just seeing the pictures of him and his daughters holding championships. I said, I can't do this. And almost started crying in the middle of Walmart. I couldn't. It was just I'd seen the picture and said I can't do this, and I left it alone. So that wasn't really watching it on TV. But I mean, I almost cried in Walmart just picking up a
I'm
thing.
trying to think
Death
what
bothers me.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, me too.
It
But
bothers everybody, yeah. But I
yeah,
mean, like, yeah, I'm gonna cry.
I think I. Let me see, because I know I watched something on the weekend. I'm not sure if I cried yesterday, but I know I cried on the weekend at some point. What was I watching? I don't know why I'm doing this. What was I don't know what I was watching, but I cried with that. I think it was a cute moment. I actually probably yesterday I was watching A Sign of Affection, which is an anime, and I thought it was cute, and I cried. I was like, "That's so fucking cute!" and literally cried.
I don't feel so bad then being 32 years old in Walmart crying at Kobe Bryant. Then I think I feel
I mean,
good
that's
about
a
myself.
real
We're good.
person who died, so
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
blame
well,
you.
true.
Over here,
True.
I'm crying over cartoons.
Well, I almost cried at an anime. I got it together, but I almost cried at Demon Slayer. I won't put no spoiler
Oh,
alerts in the
I
chat or
have
anything,
cried
but I
with Demon
almost,
Slayer
yeah,
many
I've
times.
almost cried at Demon Slayer.
Almost. I
Uh,
cried. Like, just. I told you, I cried with Barbie. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. The Barbie movie, the new one.
I told you this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I cried with that movie. Yeah.
yeah. That movie really surprised me. I didn't go into it thinking it was going to be something I was super interested in, but man, that movie was really good. All right, we got two more here. C Tom wants to know, do we want any more tattoos? Do you have any plans of any tattoos or want any more?
So originally, actually, like the tattoo that I was gonna get, the first tattoo that I wanted to get was actually this one, but this one I got because obviously I think I've spoken about it, like of the significance of my cat, Tom, who passed away in
Mhm.
2020. But originally what I wanted to get was like a tattoo that I've had the idea for, oh my god, 12, 13 years, kind of like around that time. And I asked my sister to design it for me, and that's why I never got it designed, because my sister is an artist, and artists are flaky as fuck. So they will
Yeah,
never
yeah.
do anything you ask them to do. I'm not talking about the artists who are selling their art right now and they're making notes and they're actually doing digital art. I'm talking about artists
Yeah,
like my sister who are anti-technology, all that stuff.
yeah.
You
Pen
know,
and paper.
she was painting with poop when she was a kid. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the type of artist she is. Oh my god, she doesn't paint with poop anymore. Okay, guys, sorry. I just wanted to say that. But
Yeah.
basically the idea was based on one of my favorite books that's called The Wind-Up Bird, by Haruki Murakami. And then basically there in this book there's a well, there's a moon, there's a tree, there's a bird, there's a wind-up bird. And so I wanted to get like some like line art with a well and the moon and a beautiful tree and like the bird, like a wind-up bird and stuff like that. And I asked my sister, I bought her a sketchbook at one point. Like that was like 5 years ago. I bought her a sketchbook and I wrote quotes from the book on it, so she can actually start designing it. And she never did. So,
Damn.
so I
Well,
tell her, every time I tell her, okay, I'm gonna just go to a tattoo artist, she's like, no, I don't want them to ruin your beautiful skin or whatever. I'm like, well, but
yeah,
you're not doing anything, so I'm gonna go to an artist. And she's like,
yeah,
no. I'm like, okay, whatever. So eventually, I might get that. Probably on my back, somewhere where there's space, but it doesn't. I don't want it to be like too busy. I want it to be kind of like line art, flowery, cute. I don't know. I'll see.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I wanted to add on to this random Hisoka I just got on my arm. I don't know what yet. At first I kind of thought of making it like a whole anime sleeve, but I want to get like some Japanese letters in here and things like that. But I just haven't really cared, I guess, like to go back. Like I would like it, but it's just like, I got so many things I need to do and buy right now that like tattoos are kind of like on the my bottom of shit I need to be buying or or doing right now. But yeah, I would eventually like to.
That's the
But then I'm
other
just like,
reason. That's the other reason why I haven't gotten anything else because, like,
just
one tattoo is already like so much money. You really need to be
yeah.
investing on it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'll probably just add something to this and just kind of do small things added to it. I don't know if I want a whole anime sleeve. I don't know what I want anymore. I like this tattoo, like I'm good with it. I just don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Uh, so I don't know. That's my answer. Is I don't fucking know. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I just got so many more things like on the front burner that I'm just not even thinking about my tattoos. All right. Last but not least is Breed. He hasn't eaten all day today. Hopefully, by the time I'm reading this, you have something to eat.
Hopefully.
And now and now I'm wondering, what's everything you ate since you woke up today? I can go. Mine is super easy. I didn't eat till 2 o'clock. I had a think bar, and then I got home and I had waffles, and that's been my entire dinner
I
today.
thought I was bad, but I feel better now.
I was in a rush. I had a think bar for lunch, and yeah, waffles for dinner.
So I honestly woke up a little late. But I usually start making my breakfast, but I get on the computer and start like researching stuff and stuff like that. So I do make my coffee, and then while I'm making my coffee, I have my arepa on the stove normally. I've spoken about arepas many times. If you haven't Googled any, I mean, you don't know what they are. Like, I'm sorry, maybe Google it. I've
Yeah.
explained it like they're a circle like this. They're made of cornmeal, and they are delicious. So I make sure that they're very toasty. And I put cheese and ham on them, and I made some egg with that. And then I had coffee, egg milk, and then later on, I had like kind of like lunch, almost dinner, to be honest, because I did have that like around noon. Um, I had a sandwich with a lot of arugula and spinach and ham and cheese, and then I had some olives with it. They're like filled olives, so they're kind of
I've
like
never had an olive before.
so. Of course you haven't. They're like these big olives. They're these big olives, like they're inspired. Like actually, okay. So let me backtrack. They're from Trader Joe's, but I
Uh-huh.
ate I ate the filled olives or like breaded for the first time in Ascoli Piceno, which is like the region where my grandfather was originally from. I'm sorry, in Italy, and like they're like these really big olives that they fill with. Sometimes like they put meat and stuff on them, but in this case, these ones are filled with cheese, and then they are breaded and then kind of like pan fried in this case, but I put them on the air fryer. So I had like a couple of those with my food, and that's all I've had. And of course, like that coffee that I just had.
Nice. Hell yeah. I try to like through weekdays. It was actually Mailman put me on this plan of not eating not eating before noon and then not eating after 8.
Why?
And usually I would eat at noon, but I don't get my lunch break till 2. So I just don't eat till 2. But I've also heard of wrestlers saying that they do the same thing, which is just giving your body, I guess, time to process whatever is going on inside of you. So I'm kind of like on a wrestler diet right now.
But as far as my understanding, wrestlers don't have the healthiest way of taking care of their body.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Uh all right, we have made it through all 6 questions. Or I guess the 6 people who asked questions. Some of y'all asked more than one. So
Yeah.
we did good.
Yeah, I think so.
We
I think it worked
we an-
out.
we answered everybody's question to the best of our abilities.
We didn't get too political today.
Nope. Didn't offend anybody or
Well,
make
I mean,
anybody
I feel
mad
like you
or
were kind of offending people for their tasting food or breakfast food by calling it weird.
well, I didn't write the question. That was Jake.
Well,
That wasn't
Jake,
Jake. I don't remember who asked it. It was somebody in there.
someone did.
yeah, I think it was P Stevie. It was P Stevie. There you go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at P Stevie.
Nah, I'm not mad at anyone.
All right. All right, Pink, do you want to get us out of here?
Yeah, ciao.
Ciao.